he feels out there in the arena tonight, because he's actually had quite a bit of main arena experience in front of quite a lot of people as a ref. But this is a whole different experience for him. I just wonder how that dynamic plays out. Luke McEvoy is going to break us off. Cut breaking, as is his custom. He's a very, very good cueist, and that is the one thing that he'll be able to rely on more than anything else. That's why he hits the cut break.
And this is messy. We'll talk about the Scotch frame being important. Well, this one's going to have plenty on it, because this will be very unlikely to be a first visit, and it shouldn't be attempted, in my opinion.
Yeah, you've met Jake, haven't you, before?
Good start.
He was loading up there, but I don't think the shot he was trying to play was on, if I'm honest with you.
No, and he completely miscued it. He's smiling, Sammy's smiling, and I tell you who was smiling larger than anybody else was the ref, 𝗟𝗡𝗘𝗿, had a right cheeky grin on his face as he backed away from the table there.
I'm assuming he was trying to load up to get the topspin on to get to the red and yellow on the cushion, but I think he would have delayed. The reaction would have been so delayed, he'd have got the yellows and the red, the 3-ball cluster in the middle. Now, that may have been what he was trying to do, but the miscues ended it anyway. And this... There he is, Ōrich.
He's serious now. Game face back on.
As we're talking about referees that can play, Ōrich is a very good player in his own right as well. The referees can play.
I don't know if you'd persuade him to play on a Monday night, though. Jake needed no convincing. He jumped at the chance. It's a tough shot for Sammy. Don't think, actually, and the miss we just saw Amy have as well, I don't think it's necessarily harming either pair at the moment, that they've not opened the frame up and been able to have a go at taking 2 or 3 balls off the table. This is a really, really tricky leave. And worth pointing out, as we often say in the early stages of our Ultimate Pool Pairs Cup and other tournaments where we have players who've never enjoyed the stage before, there will be a fair few jangles out there in the arena at the moment. It's a really good shot, that, from Luke McEvoy, and it's actually probably worked out quite nicely as it's enabled them to play a safety to follow. It's not a bad one.
Didn't quite get the snooker they were looking for, though.
But they can only see one yellow, and it's a yellow they actually wouldn't mind moving.
That is very true.
And Jake knows that.
Shouldn't be playing it. Should be looking for an alternative, kicking at something. I don't think you should be playing the yellow you can see here.
Yeah, the yellow they can see is the leftermost of the 2.
Oh, they can see this one at the table as well, by the looks of things. Yeah, they could. They actually were okay. So that was... well, we've seen Jake very early here look to be ultra aggressive. That was another very aggressive play, because he was taking that on, making the double and opening up the cluster at the same time. Obviously, second prize was to take the pocket, but that should put him on the back foot on the tactical exchange here.
Yeah, and he is a tremendously aggressive player. He's good fun to watch, is Jake, because he will go at everything. He's got enormous belief in getting them as well. Lost turn coming up, no attempt at the combo there from Luke McEvoy, who I think is almost... He's almost called Jake's bluff here. He's like, oh, you're a goer. Crack on.
This is fine, as long as they haven't left the yellow to right centre, because they'll take it on. I don't think they have. They haven't looked at it. Yeah, the red's in the way. It's a very good shot. Kept that very contained from a tricky situation. Any sniff of it red, and it could have been end of frame.
Couldn't have asked for much more with that. Oh, Amy's followed Luke's instructions to the letter there.
The breakout shot might be on here. Can you clip the one bottom left back and come 2 or 3 cushions to open up the yellow at the top? Looks on. Not taking it. So going up for the double instead. And the double doesn't look on. A treble?
I think it's treble, yeah.
Well, that doesn't look on either.
It looks more on than the double, that's for sure.
There was not much room to play with there. I really do think, considering how aggressive Jake is, he's really missed an opportunity there. That clip to bottom left was giving you the natural gap, and then you've got the ability to widen it, you know, trace a side here or there, to either get into it, well, more likely 2 cushions. It was actually quite a big target for a player at Jake's level. You thought you might have gone there.
Luke and Amy are finally going to say enough of that. Let's try and take these on.
Extension called.
Very tidy pot.
Very nice. Another couple of rolls, maybe. If he had reached the yellow, maybe that's better, but Luke should be able to just control this slight cannon he's going to have to play. Shouldn't be too tricky, really. Just a little stun shot off it. Should just knock the 7 towards the pocket. There you go. And now it's really just a case of these two block each other at the top of the table. The plant's not an option, so... I mean, looks like Luke might be saying play for the plant.
Maybe just looking at the line.
I think you can just get across to the right-hand side. Just top this one, you know, almost target just above right centre. But no, he's gone and going to leave a very tricky plant here. I think if you top that, the natural line takes you off the left-hand cushion towards the yellow below the 8 ball. And if you get there, you're in great position. So I'm a little bit surprised they didn't look for that. Doesn't matter though.
How's your recovery? Luke McEvoy has played a beauty. That was not an easy plan. He couldn't have played it any better.
And what he's done is he's kept the game simple for Amy there, isn't he? He's just said, look, I just want you to make this, leave me that. And she's done that on every shot in this visit. She's done absolutely everything that was asked of her. Very, very good.
That was a long old bridge for Amy Winter, but she made it nicely. Cue ball is in off. Would you believe it? Oh, Luke McEvoy will feel sick.
Oh, did he make this just slightly on the thin part of the pocket? I think he was always concerned it was going to be close. That's why he played it dead weight off the cushion. Oh, that one hurts. That one really hurts. Tough to recover from that. Especially as now Jake Cooper with the break and his individual frame. If he finds a ball here, he'll take pleasure in punishing. But there is no ball.
So this will be Jake Cooper against Amy Winter. Amy at the table.
Extension called.
So Amy misses her first ball. Jake comes to the table. This is how the last frame ended. Did catch it slightly thin.
Yeah, could have made it off the thicker part, but it's a big error because that was such a beautiful visit to the table. I love the way they work together as a team to make good decisions for the team, and it's just a disaster at the back end. Jake Cooper's in now for some extra punishment. He'll feel like he should get these. Just got to be careful though. It's certainly not a guarantee. Every ball has a pocket, but it's far from a guaranteed out here. Doing the right thing, taking the trickier ball, because this makes the finish easier.
Yeah, didn't wholeheartedly commit to that. Let's show you the end of the last frame then. Slightly better angle to view it here. This is Luke McEvoy's 8-ball. And yeah, slightly on the thin side of the pocket, as you mentioned, Si, but I have a suspicion that he should have probably maybe just dug into that a little more.
I don't know. I mean, it's only thin half, isn't it? It was hardly, like, it barely grazed the jaw of anything. Yes, you could make that thicker, and it probably would have just held the cue ball up. Yeah, it's a tough one, because he was pretty close to the cushion. Yeah, I mean, obviously in hindsight, anything but what you've just done.
Yeah, when you put it like that. So Amy makes a ball and makes a loss of turn. No attempt to play the combination.
As long as that yellow doesn't go, she's in the driving seat in this frame.
Looks like Jake is going to go, though. I think he'll back himself to make the yellow off the red down the rail.
It looks tight to me. I don't know whether this is playing a big pocket or not. I'm not sure. It might squeeze in. That camera angle gives me more confidence.
Was tough, and the gamble's paid off, really. There's
depends on the loss of turn here. Is the loss of turn available immediately? If not, how many balls do you have to take off before you can play the loss of turn?
Probably just the one. It's a loss of turn where you have to hide the white.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing with this shot. You have to hide the white.
Yeah,
the two yellows top of the table are pretty big targets.
The problem is, I think you're going to leave you're either going to go too far to the left and leave the one top left, which is the disaster, or you're going to leave a thin clip on the one top right. I think it's hard to avoid both. And I think that's gone too far to the left-hand side, is it?
Yeah, hitting the one on the right side, but Jake can definitely see the one on the left side.
Yeah.
Amy is physically not the tallest, and I do think there's a couple of moments so far in this match where she's been forced to bridge really, really long. It's something she'll get used to the more she plays. I can think of a couple of players on the women's series who've got, I mean, 𝗟𝗚𝗓 Davies is the one that jumps out immediately. Some of the shots she plays with a really long bridge hand is extraordinary, but that's a real skill that needs to be honed. Jake Cooper's going to polish these off for 2-0.
And that was tough. That was the right shot for me. That the shot was good, but it just needed execute. I mean, the margin of error was a ball. You know, if she goes, she slightly, you know, missed it on the thin side. The cue ball goes a fraction further to the left as we look, and you leave the one top left. If you miss it slightly on the thick side, you still get the loss of turn, but you leave the thin clip top right. Your chances of hiding both are very, very slim. But you had to leave the thin clip over the one over the pocket. The thin clip still had work for Jake. Leaving the one over the pocket ended the frame.
8-ball in motion for Luke McEvoy. Plenty not in motion, though. Could he do with putting a little bit more pace on that cut break?
Yeah, it does look a little timid, doesn't it? You look at the 4 balls didn't even move at all for somebody that cues so well. He'll be feeling sick right now because he knows that it was his shot that went in off. I know that he would have liked to have been slightly straighter on it, but as we said, the long distance bridging for Amy was tough. And he'll know that she did everything that he needed her to do in that partnership. You know, she executed everything that was asked of her, and he was ultimately the one that made the mistake. And well, he's got an opportunity here, or he will hope he gets one to put it right.
Yeah, Sammy Hogg obviously will be hoping that he doesn't get one.
This is a terrible layout. You shouldn't be going here with that 8-ball dead. The yellow, unless it goes bottom right past the reds. But even the ones at the top, I mean, this is just a really messy, horrible layout. But
decent chance, though, for a loss of turn here to take a bit of table dominance on yellows, though. Cushion first, flick the reds.
At 2-0 up, I mean, this frame started at about the 7-minute mark, but at 2-0 up, if you can take 3 or 4, 5 minutes off, you've done your job. Even if you lose the frame, you've done your job.
We'll place the plant for the loss of turn. I think Luke might go.
Be disappointed that hasn't actually blocked anything at the top of the table. Luke's tapping the table because I don't think anything's on.
he's all right.
That was, and he's on the one at the top here, so it's about those two at the bottom. The right-hand one of the two at the bottom doesn't pass the bottom left-hand corner, so he will have to play breakout. Unless they're a plant to left centre. Difficult to tell. And he's left a terrible angle here at the top. Can't come down the table. So all he can do is, and they don't look like they're on.
They don't plant to either pocket, and they're tough to make that plant as well.
Yeah, definitely not. So
Loads aside, that's a pretty good shot.
yeah, and he has got a good angle here to go into them.
That's a really, really nice shot of that from Luke McEvoy. Judged that really well. And he's loading up again.
And that was played really well. That was where you wanted to contact it, because you knew you were going to be on a choice. You weren't going to move one of them, and your chances of not being on that one were very, very slim. So excellent.
Well, he knew the shot that he played at the end of the first frame, and it will be an awful feeling when you do it on your own. But when you're playing in a partnership, especially as the A side, it will have been a really rough feeling for him. But now he's loaded up, but he's missed the 8 ball. He took that out really, really well, all until the 8 ball, which was tough. It was expected to make.
It was really tough. I thought he might be able to get better on it, but he had a little bit too much angle. So once he had played the breakout, he'll feel disappointed he didn't get right behind that 8 ball. And ultimately, that's the difference between making it and not. So it's going to be, well, this is 3.5 minutes off the clock here. So it's just, everything's good. You should win the frame now, but even if you don't, the damage it's done on the clock is massive.
Yeah, Sammy's going to torture him. It's probably the right choice. Can they get this tracking towards a pocket somewhere?
You had a quick look, bottom right looks like it's on, bottom left might be as well.
Oh, I thought he was going to do it again for a second, you know. Cue ball flies in. 8 ball was tracking towards the pocket, but in the end missed by a little way.
Okay, so now, do you take this on? The 8 ball's gone awkward, or do you just play the game here and just lay another snooker and just kill the clock? See, what you're doing now is these 4 yellows are really easy to mop up. But then if you miss the 8 ball, are you just giving a little bit of hope? Or is the right play there, just lay another snooker and just keep doing it and win the match 2-0?
That's a really interesting debate. And as ever, time will tell us what the correct play was. Looks like Sammy is going for these. But I don't care who you are, this is a tricky, tricky 8 ball, which looks like she's going to come down for the double maybe, which might be the play here. It's pretty nicely played for a double.
Natural line might be going quite close towards it.
Yeah, she's going to land on it to play it down the rail. Well, time will tell whether it was the right decision. Luke McEvoy isn't missing this. 2-1 and hope for the Yorkshire duo. That's a tough one for Sammy Hogg, you gotta say. She's overplayed that by what, 2 centimetres from being perfect?
Yeah, but even if she lands perfect as a tough 8 ball, if she doesn't land perfect as a tough 8 ball, the clock situation is the thing that, for me, if she lays the snooker with ball in hand and then Luke kicks out and gets the 8 ball back into play, then clear up. That's fine. But if he fouls again, keep doing it. You know, it doesn't matter whether you win 2-0 or 3-0. It really doesn't matter. Winning is winning. If Jake breaks dry here, it'll just be a little bit fearful.
𝗬𝗎𝗡𝗚 to hit the cut break. 1:38, plenty of time left in the match. He has made a ball. And there's one cluster and a couple of balls on the top rail, which actually is just what these two want, really. 1.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Call your extension and pot 3 balls. All you have to do, forget about the rest of the table. Doesn't matter whether you pot 3 yellows or 3 reds. Does not matter.
They have called that extension. 10 seconds left off that first shot clock. Sammy's not got a huge amount of time to play it. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Drop this one in on the button. That will leave, what, just under 50. So you're going to leave 30, before, and you've got the one by the 8-ball as well. So no real problems here. Yeah, just get this ball out. Don't even think about breaking out the yellow. The temptation to play and break it out isn't. Just stun the ball to the middle of the table, and it's match over.
Yeah, this is essentially the winning ball. 2-1 up, 35 seconds to play. And in it flies, and that should do them, because Jake has 15 seconds to play a shot here, and there just isn't time on the other side. So it will be a winning start for Jake Cooper and Sammy Hogg. And it all really hinged on that first frame. Luke McEvoy and Amy Winter should have been 1-0 in front, but they ended it 1-0 behind as Luke went in off the 8-ball. And it is a victory for Jake and Sammy to kick things off. Luke and Amy will have to come from behind when they take on the pairing of Kate Ringe and John Meyer when we return.